Wednesday the 24th of June, and it's another fortnightly update from the Pure Stadium. As you can see, pitch is coming on quite nicely. Plenty of people are working around here today. Plan today is to have a look at the toilets. We'll show everybody the work on the indoor toilets and catch up with Ian. Okay, now got Ian with us. We've had a quick look at the toilets this morning, Ian, in the bar, which is a bit of a gruesome subject to talk about, but coming on well?
Yeah, no, we've been wanting to get them done for obviously as long as I can remember. So to actually see the works start and to know that they're going to be finished and ready for the new season is just another step forward.
Yeah, looking good. Okay, well this week we've had a new sponsor come on board, haven't we, in Wilson Henry? A new name to several people. How's that one come about?
Wilson Henry took over our accounts, it will be a couple of seasons ago now, and obviously as they've taken over the accounts and really got to know the club, how the club operates, and the personalities involved at the club, particularly James, who's kind of been the go-to for Wilson Henry, then obviously thankfully as they've got more involved, they've got more interested in the club, both in respect of the football, the standing in the community, and you know it looks like a potential good relationship for all involved. So in that sense, it was a no-brainer. Yeah,
they were here for the photo shoot on Monday, I think it was, and they looked very enthusiastic about what was going on at the club. Yeah. They seemed very impressed.
Yeah, well, as I say, you know, they are well aware of all the works that have been going on, how they've been financed, and how we're moving forward, and our plans for moving forward. And thankfully they want to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's great to see a new name as well, isn't it? Because we've had our regulars for many years, but if you look around the ground now, some of these boards, there are a lot of new people on board as well.
Yeah, and we've been talking a lot about that over the last couple of weeks, because obviously the pandemic hasn't been great for everyone, but what we have seen through the course of the pandemic is that some industries have come through stronger than others. You know, some industries have obviously survived, and the firms within those industries, and for us it kind of gives us a new target range to go out and speak to businesses that maybe we just weren't aware of before or haven't spoken to before, and see if we can get them involved with the club, particularly at a time like now where the community is so important to everyone. You know, we can see that, you know, we've been involved since the start of the pandemic with trying to do as much as we can for the community, and we're not the only ones in Southport doing that. Yeah. So those different companies have kind of got to know each other and about each other through doing all that community work. So kind of the next step now is for us to go and speak to them, see how we continue to build relationships moving forward, which invariably and hopefully will involve new names around the club, new interests, and hopefully new fans.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Well, we put out a request for a few questions to come in. A couple of them, I'm not sure you can answer this one, but about first team matters with the goalkeeper. A bit concerned that we don't seem to have a goalkeeper at the moment. So can you update on that situation? I know it's difficult because of furlough and things.
Yeah, well, I think that's the point, is that it's not just the goalkeeper. There are two or three at least other positions, two or three other players that we would quite like to conclude deals with and talks with. But that's exactly the position, is that they are furloughed with their clubs. Whilst they're furloughed with their clubs, obviously they are not able to talk to anyone else. The majority of people who are furloughed will come out of furlough on the 31st of July, which will enable us then to have a busy first couple of days of August. We still have Dan Hamford with us on furlough. Liam still has to kind of have those chats as to where he's at with Dan and where Dan is at with us. And if Dan does decide that his future lies elsewhere, then Liam has one or two other options that it wouldn't surprise anyone that he's kind of been targeting in the background. And again, it just means that as soon as those people become available, we can move. We have obviously no concerns that we'll have a keeper. It's just which one of Liam's 2 or 3 potentials will be number one on the first day of the season.
Yeah, good. Well, there's certainly a comment that's come through quite regularly is that it does appear on paper that Liam's building a very strong squad, which is nice to hear from the supporters. They seem to build it, buying into what we're doing here with the players.
And it's something that we've kind of mentioned before in these interviews, is that the market, as it were, is so much more open to us now, in the sense of we've kind of laid our stall out in respect of being a part-time club. It now means that really, really good quality part-time players know that. We've been able to attract part-time players of that kind of quality. Those kind of players want to come to us, and it's been much easier than when we've been in the past looking for full-time players who maybe are coming to us because they haven't got their first choice higher up the pyramid.
Yeah, good. Okay. Moving on. Next question. Gate prices for next season.
Won't change.
Staying the same.
Stay the same.
Some element of the cash handling might be something we need to look at.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything else across the club at the moment, is that we're being guided daily by the guidelines as they come out from the government. This time, a couple of weeks ago, we were trying to figure out how we would put our 2-metre markings all the way around the ground, whereas today, obviously, we're down to 1 metre, and we're glad that we didn't.
Yeah. You were talking about putting pots of paint out for everybody to put dapper pots of paint, weren't you, at one point?
There was all kinds of ideas being mooted around as to how we would mark off our 2 metre. But as I say, we're down to 1 metre now. Where we'll be by the time the season starts is anyone's guess. Yeah. All we can do is follow the guidelines, wait and see what they are in comparison to when the league wants us to start. But whatever the position is, we'll be able to kind of make those changes. If that means completely cashless turnstiles, then we've got plans in place should that happen.
Yeah. Okay. I think this one's a bit early as well. Have we considered the impact of self-distancing within the ground when the season gets underway?
We have. And again, we've got plans A, B, C and D because they're changing so frequent at the moment. Let's say the season starts with the current guidelines with social distancing at 1 metre, then obviously it's open to us then to kind of go out a couple of weeks before the start of the season, invite families to get in touch, because obviously families can sit together. Mm-hmm. If you are in a bubble with a second house, again, you can sit together. So as long as we can have notification and plan this in advance, then we'll be able to plan exactly what areas we free up in the stadium for kind of those groups of people. And again, there are plans A, B and C for every eventuality. So if we went back to 2 metres, we could work with that. If it goes down to no social distancing, then everyone's happy anyway.
I think within the ground, if you look around, there is space, isn't there, to accommodate our average crowd?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to planning, and whilst we've got kind of our plans in place for every eventuality, the same goes with hospitality. We kind of sat down a couple of weeks ago and we worked out how hospitality would run on the basis of a 2 metre social distancing, which meant X amount of people could be in hospitality. Well, now we're having to change those plans again on the basis of 1 metre, which is why we're having a plan A, B and C. Is that whatever we're at the start of the season, we can work with. If we can only cater to people outdoors, then there is space around the ground to create areas
Walkabout Wednesday. Now I've seen people doing a few laps today. I think they're trying to break the record of one time. It's gone down really well, and we've had the little shop today, haven't we? And that seems to be going well over there. I think that's something that people would really like to have.
Yeah, and again, it gives people that little bit of focus coming out of lockdown. It allows them to get out. It's the nature of Southport football fans in that they want to know what's going on the ground. They want to see the changes as they happen, which is great, because obviously all we want during this difficult period is to kind of maintain that interest, know that everyone is there and behind the club, and that when the season starts again, everyone's going to come back. And Walkabout Wednesday, it ticks all the boxes. It lets everyone get out of the house. It gives them somewhere to go and walk, which isn't a crowded beach where they're going to worry about someone falling over them. And again, the other great advantage of it is that it frees up James and I, and today Liam, to answer questions, have a chat. Everyone knows that if you get any burning question and they don't get in touch with you, they can come down on Wednesday and ask us direct.
One big change coming in, I know this impacts on me, is we're going to an e-programme next season. Now, we haven't announced anything formally on this, but it's something we've decided we're going to do, and I think it's something we're looking forward to. I had a few reservations at first, but something to take forward.
Yeah, and again, it's like everything else, isn't it? Particularly, during lockdown and moving on, in that I think the world is changing. Everyone has kind of, whether they wanted to or not, they've grasped the need for digitalisation and modernisation, and it probably is the way of the world from here on in. And we don't want to get left behind with that. You don't want to get left behind with that. And again, it's something else which we'll listen to the fans and get their feedback as well, and see how it goes moving forward. It's something new, something exciting again. So let's see how it works.
I think when you looked at all the pros and cons, because as I'm bound to do, because it impacts on me, I think that the pros were a lot greater than the cons, really, because you're saving so much money. We're not having the travel, the deliveries and everything. So I think I bowed down to it in the end.
Yeah, and it's like everything else, in that it may be unusual at first, but once everyone gets used to it, you'll wonder why we didn't do it quicker. And as I say, it's just one other on the list of changing things that we've got to get used to at the moment.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, Ian.
Okay.